I know how much Kobe meant to you. What are your thoughts?
Boy, it's going to be tough, Skip.
Yep.
Because it feels like a family member passed, a real close family member. Because I think the thing is, for the last quarter century, we watched Kobe Bryant grow up before our eyes.
We did.
We watched a 17-year-old kid come into the NBA and become a champion, become a husband, become a father, become one of the all-time great players in NBA history. And then we watched that career end and transition to another phase of his life. And it looks like he was about to take on that like he attacked his NBA career. And he was about to be just as great in his second career as he was in his first career. In this, it's when I got the news, I'm like, somebody's, because sometimes you get things like this, somebody's passing, they're like, this can't be true. So I jump on it, I'm scouring. And I don't see it coming across the news anywhere, so I say, there's no way it's true. And then all of a sudden it starts to flow in. And then you realize, yeah, this is true. And, they say 41 years doesn't seem like a long time, but you live a life as accomplished as Kobe Bryant, and you live a life as fulfilling as Kobe Bryant. 41 years is an eternity. He got the nickname Black Mamba, and a lot of people know what a Black Mamba is. It's a very venomous snake. But what he does, what makes him so dangerous, is that he'll attack without provocation. Kobe Bryant didn't need you to be his enemy on the court to drop 50 on your head. Because his mentor, the guy that he admired more than anybody, he hung 55 on Michael Jordan and said, take that with you into retirement. That's the mentality that he possessed every time he took the court. Skip, I had an opportunity to meet him at the Icon Award. And I was talking to him, and I was like, Kobe, you seem so at peace.
How many years ago?
This was about 2 years ago, Skip.
Okay.
2 years, February it'll be 2 years. He's like, Sharpe, I'm at peace. He said, because I left nothing on the court. I did everything I possibly could to become the best player that I possibly could. The way I trained, the way I ate, the way I practiced, the way I played. He said, now I just have a different focus. He says, I'm at that same way, the same focus and the same mindset that I took to the NBA and to the court. I now have it on the creative side. It's about developing stories. It's about telling stories.
Yep.
Skip, I just text Kobe. I DM'd him. Let me pull it up, Skip. A month ago, I said, this was December 26th at 5:47 p.m. I said, if I don't get those size 13 gamers, it's going to be on. Emojis. Merry belated Christmas to you and your family. He hit me back. What gamers? I texted him a picture of the Kobe 5 Proto, the Chaos. PlayStation got to have a special code to get them. He's like, LOL. I said, congrats on the new edition. A little King Mamba Jr. keeps saluting you. Hope all is well with you and your fam. He's like, thanks, fam. My princesses are tough enough. Emoji, muscle, love.
Wow.
Beautiful.
It really is.
Skip. It doesn't even seem real. Skip, I remember my grandmother said, she said, son, there's one appointment that you'll never be able to cancel. Kobe had an appointment. And people are like, well, why didn't Kobe drive? How many times had Kobe flown? He flew to practice every day. He flew to the Staples Centers every home game.
All helicopter.
All helicopter. He never drove.
I'm not sure there's a person in this country who has helicoptered more than Kobe has over the last 25 years.
Sure.
Maybe a pilot.
Maybe.
In this.
Well, I mean, besides
but I'm saying, but for a person to go to work, think about it, Skip. This is how he went to practice. This is how he went to work, via helicopter. Skip, it was just his time, and it's so sad. I mean, my heart breaks. I mean, because like I said, to watch him grow up, to see what he became, where he came from, and to see, like I said, you're not supposed to mourn. You're not supposed to feel sad. You're supposed to be happy that he's in a better place. And we say we're never supposed to question the man above because he knows all. He sits high and he looks low. But, man, today, and I think now, Skip, whatever little petty gripes you might have with an individual, family member, friend, I think after what transpired yesterday, I think it's time to set all that to the side and say, you know what? I got this little petty gripe, but what if that person were to leave without saying, I'm sorry, or we're better than that? Kobe, bro, we miss you. We miss you, Gigi. We miss the other 7 members that also perished in that crash. But boy, Skip, this is a sad, sad day. I know you remember when Roberto Clemente perished in that delivering aid. I will remember when Dale Earnhardt crashed doing his sport. But, Skip, the reach now of what the NBA have, you see Neymar, you see Cristiano Ronaldo, you see the guys that he touched. This is unparalleled. His legacy is big. His legacy now is bigger than basketball. It's about the people. It's about the lives that he touched while he played the game that he loved so much of basketball.
So, to all your points, all great ones, all deep ones, when I woke up here in Miami yesterday, first thing I did was call my wife, Ernestine, in Los Angeles. First thing she said to me, man, it's so foggy I can't see across the street. I didn't think anything about it. I later read that the LA Police Department grounded all of its helicopters all morning yesterday in the Los Angeles area because it was just too foggy to fly. So a couple hours passed here yesterday, and I posted a picture on social media of a car that my friend Lil Wayne is going to let me use this week. And I was proud of that picture, and about 1 minute passed, and my phone rang as I walked back through the lobby of our hotel, and it was Ernestine. And I thought, oh, she saw the picture. Maybe she liked it. She usually doesn't like any of my pictures. And she was crying like I'd never heard her cry in the 15 years we've been together. She couldn't even spit out what she was crying about, and I was horrified because I thought something had happened to her or somebody at home.
Sure.
And she finally managed to get out, Kobe died. I said, no, that's not possible. And the details, as you said, were sketchy. And I spent the next 10 minutes trying to talk her off the ledge because I said, they got this wrong.
Right.
It just can't be. No, Kobe did not die. And then once the gravity of it struck me, I spent the next half hour in denial, to your point, because there's no way Kobe could die.
Right.
He was too big to die. He was too great to die.
Right.
If you had given me a list of 10,000 people yesterday morning and said one of these people is going to die today, I might have put Kobe Bean Bryant at the bottom of my list. He was just too big. And yet, I spent the rest of the day, as maybe a lot of us did, having to come to grips with my own mortality. Because if he can go, any of us can go.
Yes.
It hit me right between the eyes once again to your point, how fragile life is, how fleeting it can be. It is here today and gone tomorrow. And the ultimate cliche is we're not promised tomorrow.
Right.
And the other ultimate cliche is you've got to live and love every single moment. That's the ultimate truth of life. And if there's any silver lining to this, it made us all stop and say, man, am I doing this right? And yet, to your point, again, what hit me hardest was that Kobe was becoming greater in his second career than he was in his first career.
Yep.
And to me, he was becoming so big, he had taken on, like, movie star status.
Yes.
Where he was a leading man. He had mellowed to the point that he had become a global icon, like an evangelist for basketball, where he would preach and teach basketball all over the world. And he let go of all the anger that drove him as a player to where he was a beautiful person to watch. And I always trusted him to react as the ambassador of the game, sort of the conscience of basketball.
Yes.
And I waited for his tweet to put it all in perspective.
Right.
So to me, losing Kobe at 41 was like losing Michael Jackson at 50, or Prince at 57, or even if I can go back a little blast from the past, Elvis at 42.
Sure.
But there was one huge difference here. There was an element of self-destruction in all the downfalls of Michael Jackson, Prince, and Elvis, some element of self-destruction. And in this case, this was straight, unthinkable tragedy. Just straight tragedy.
Yep.
Inexplicable tragedy. Depending on how you view it spiritually, as you said, you've got to try to make peace with it in whatever your life view is.
You have to.
But I can't even fathom or imagine the pain his wife is suffering to lose a husband and a daughter like that?
Right.
Whew. Boom.
No, but Skip, because nobody thinks when you leave the house, because she had kissed Kobe so many times as he left to go to practice,
Sure.
as he left to go to work. I'm sure Gigi, they've taken this helicopter to games and to practice so many times before. Never in a million years did she think this was going to be the last time that she hugged and kissed her husband and her
Well,
child.
you just don't, because you can't.
No, but and that just goes to show
Yeah.
you, Skip, is that this pettiness that we have sometimes, the little silliness.
You do get on my nerves occasionally. And today I'm going to let it go.
You gonna let it go? I
Yeah.
really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But Skip, the cold and the callousness that he had on the court, the assassin that we applaud him for, once he stepped aside, Skip, you saw a transformation in Kobe over the last decade or so. That he became a much softer person. He was less guarded off the court. Skip, when I met him at this Icon Award in February of 2018, Kobe Bryant had only seen me maybe a handful of times, but he made me feel like he had known me for 20 years. And the way he talked to me, and he was just like, you know, I'm like, and I'm looking at him, and you mentioned like he was an evangelist for the game of basketball, Hollywood's biggest and brightest. They wanted to talk to him.
They did.
You see the way they looked at him like little kids look at him and Michael Jordan and LeBron James. That's how the A-list celebs looked at Kobe Bryant. That's what he became, a 17-year-old. Probably never been to California.
Yep.
All of a sudden, he was going to get turned loose on the 405 and the 10 and make a name for himself, become one of the greatest, become a father, a husband. Skip, I mean, and that Gigi, she looked just like him. She looked just, I mean, and to see them sitting courtside at ball games, especially WNBA games, and she's asking him questions, and he has his arm around her, and he's telling her, man, it breaks your heart.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.